Imagine this. Every moment in your life, whether joyful, painful, confusing, or serene, has a deeper meaning. What if I told you that modern psychology suggests that nothing happens in our inner world by accident? Every emotion, every experience, every struggle is part of a broader narrative, helping us understand who we are and why we are here. Stay with us as we dive into this thought-provoking perspective, where psychology meets self-awareness, and uncover how our experiences are not random but purposeful. Together, we'll explore how embracing this understanding can bring healing, resilience, and ultimately, inner peace. The psychological law of impermanence. Understanding constant change is the only constant in life. This isn't just a poetic idea, it's a psychological reality. Everything evolves. The seasons, our emotions, our relationships, and even the way we think and feel about ourselves. In psychological terms, this is known as cognitive impermanence, the understanding that our thoughts and feelings are in constant flux, shaped by our environment, past experiences, and personal growth. But here's the catch. Much of our suffering comes from resisting this change. We want happiness to last forever. We want pain to vanish instantly. We crave control, but life keeps reminding us that it flows on its own terms. Psychology teaches us that emotional distress often stems from cognitive rigidity, our refusal to accept what is and adapt to what's next. Think about nature. A river never clings to one shape. It moves forward, adapting effortlessly to every bend. A tree doesn't mourn the falling of its leaves in autumn. It simply prepares for spring. In much the same way, we can learn to release what no longer serves us, trusting that with every ending comes the seed of something new. When we embrace impermanence, something incredible happens. We gain emotional freedom. We stop fearing loss and start appreciating the now. We realize that no sadness is permanent, no joy eternal, but both are part of a rich, ever-changing emotional landscape. Every tough season is just that, a season. It's not your final destination. True peace doesn't come from avoiding change. It comes from understanding it, flowing with it, and trusting the journey. When we stop resisting life and start accepting it, we tap into a deeper kind of strength, one rooted not in control, but in awareness. So, stay with us as we continue this exploration, where psychology reveals that everything we experience has a reason, and where every emotion, no matter how fleeting, is an opportunity to grow, heal, and awaken a deeper sense of self. If you're ready to turn your life's challenges into insights, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our weekly videos on emotional wisdom, mindfulness, and self-discovery. Let's begin this journey together. Because every moment is a message, every experience is a lesson, and every step you take brings you closer to peace. Cause and effect: how psychology explains karma in daily life. Nothing in life happens without a cause. In psychology, this concept is known as cause and effect. Every action, thought, or emotion we express sets off a chain reaction. Even when we don't see the results right away, they're unfolding beneath the surface, shaping the course of our lives and relationships. This idea closely mirrors what many associate with karma, but rather than viewing it through a mystical or religious lens, psychology frames it as a matter of behavioral patterns, emotional conditioning, and cognitive impact. The ripple effect of everyday behavior. Think of it like this. When you throw a stone into a calm lake, it creates ripples that travel far beyond where the stone landed. Your words, actions, and even your intentions function the same way. A kind word, a harsh judgment, a silent grudge. They all send ripples out into the world and within yourself. Some consequences are immediate, like the warm response you get from kindness. Others unfold over time, like the emotional distance created by unspoken resentment. But rest assured, every choice leaves an imprint. thoughts and energy. What you think shapes what you experience. Modern psychology has shown that our thoughts influence our behavior, and in turn, our behavior shapes our environment and relationships. A person who habitually holds onto anger or resentment, even if they don't express it outwardly, tends to experience higher stress, strained relationships, and even physical illness. Meanwhile, someone who cultivates empathy and patience, especially during challenging moments, creates a more peaceful internal state and encourages more compassionate responses from others. We tend to attract the type of energy we project. Why good people suffer and not so good ones don't, at first. It's a question many of us ask. Why do some people seem to get away with bad behavior while others suffer despite doing good? Psychology offers this perspective. Not all consequences are immediate or visible. Think of actions like seeds. Some bloom quickly. Others may take years or even decades to reveal their full impact. Our habits, decisions, and emotional patterns create long-term effects on our mental health, relationships, and sense of meaning. Taking responsibility, the power to change your path. The principle of psychological karma invites us to take ownership. Rather than blaming others or external circumstances, we realize I have the power to change my life by changing how I think, feel, and act. A modern parallel to an old teaching goes like this. A student once asked a psychologist, "Why are some people born into struggle while others seem to have everything handed to them?" The answer: life is influenced by countless variables, genetics, environment, upbringing, but what matters most is how we respond. You can't control the hand you're dealt, but you can learn how to play it better. Not fate, but transformation. Psychological growth isn't about resigning to what is. It's about evolving. Even if our past choices led to hardship, we can choose differently now, with greater insight and compassion. Change takes time, but every small act of awareness, kindness, and emotional regulation plants new seeds for the future. So remember this: your thoughts matter. Your actions create impact. Your emotional patterns shape your reality. Psychological karma isn't about judgment. It's about awareness and empowerment. You are never stuck unless you choose to stay stuck. If you found this perspective meaningful, stay with us as we explore more ways to live consciously, reflect deeply, and grow stronger emotionally. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you never miss an episode. Your journey toward transformation begins with a single thought. In psychology, we know that our lives aren't shaped by random events. They're molded by patterns of thought, speech, and behavior. These three forces, our thoughts, words, and actions, are like the building blocks of our reality. They influence not only how we perceive the world, but also how the world responds to us. 1. Thoughts, the silent architects of behavior. A single thought may feel fleeting and insignificant, but it's not. Over time, repeated thoughts form beliefs, and beliefs shape our behavior. A negative thought nurtured long enough can grow into resentment, bias, or even aggression. On the flip side, a thought of gratitude or compassion has the power to shift our mood, calm our nervous system, and inspire kind actions. Cognitive psychology tells us what we think, we become. The mind interprets and filters everything through our internal narratives. That's why being mindful of your thoughts isn't just spiritual advice. It's a psychological strategy for emotional well-being. 2. Words, expression as impact. What we say reveals what we think and influences how others feel. Words can heal or they can harm. A careless insult may leave scars. A sincere compliment can uplift someone for days. Communication researchers confirm that language not only reflects reality, it creates it. The tone we use with ourselves and others sets the tone for our relationships and environments. When we practice intentional communication, being honest, clear, and kind, we shape our social world into one that's more empathetic and resilient. 3. Actions, the choices that echo. Actions are where thoughts and words become real. Every choice we make sends a message about who we are, what we value, and how we engage with the world. Even small gestures like holding the door for a stranger or pausing to listen to someone build a psychological and emotional environment of care and cooperation. Psychologists emphasize the power of behavior. Repeated actions form habits, and habits shape identity. The more we act with integrity, kindness, or patience, the more we reinforce those qualities within ourselves. Mindfulness, the key to awareness and change. So how do we break unhealthy patterns? Mindfulness, the practice of paying attention without judgment, is a proven psychological tool for transformation. It allows us to observe our thoughts, regulate our emotions, and choose our responses rather than react automatically. For example, when we meet stress with anger, we create more tension for ourselves and others. But responding with calm and empathy diffuses conflict and fosters peace. It's not about suppressing emotions. It's about responding with awareness instead of reacting with impulse. Individual and collective impact. Our choices don't exist in isolation. In psychology, this is known as social ripple theory. Your behavior influences others, who in turn influence others, and so on. Whether it's through kindness, generosity, or empathy, your decisions have collective consequences. We see this in families, schools, communities, and workplaces. One act of compassion can create a chain reaction. Positive behavior is contagious, just like negativity is. That's why living consciously helps not just you, but everyone around you. Intention matters. What drives your actions is just as important as the actions themselves. Psychology calls this motivational clarity. Doing something kind to feel superior is different from doing it out of genuine care. The emotional energy behind your actions affects how others receive them and how you feel about yourself afterward. Your past doesn't define you. We've all made mistakes. We've all said or done things we regret. But psychology reminds us that we are not static beings. We are adaptive and neuroplastic. The brain is constantly changing. Every day offers a chance to make a new choice, form a new habit, become a better version of yourself. How to transform your life. One choice at a time. Transformation doesn't require massive leaps. It begins with small, consistent actions. Choose kinder words in daily conversations. Practice self-awareness before reacting. Help others without expecting praise or reward. These simple acts are incredibly powerful. Like a single drop causing ripples across a lake, each moment of kindness can shift not only your life, but the world around you. You are the author of your life in psychology. Taking personal responsibility is a major step toward healing and growth. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" This mindset shift turns obstacles into opportunities for self-discovery. It rewrites your story from one of helplessness to one of empowerment. Conclusion: you get what you create. Life is not about punishment or reward. It's about patterns and consequences. What you send out comes back to you, not magically, but through the natural law of cause and effect. The more aware you become, the more wisely you can live. So the question is, what kind of life are you creating? Attachment and suffering, a psychological perspective on letting go. Modern psychology teaches that much of our emotional suffering stems from attachment, our tendency to cling to people, possessions, emotions, and ideas as though they are permanent sources of happiness. We often believe that certain external conditions must remain constant for us to feel secure or fulfilled. I need this relationship to feel whole, or if only things were different, I'd finally be happy, are common inner narratives. But the harsh truth is that nothing in life is permanent. People change, circumstances shift, and emotions evolve. The problem with attachment is that it places our emotional well-being in the hands of things we can't control. This creates a fragile kind of happiness, one that is always vulnerable to disruption. When the job ends, when the relationship changes, or when life simply doesn't unfold according to our expectations, we feel pain, not just because of the event itself, but because of how tightly we were holding on to it. Psychologically, letting go doesn't mean apathy or detachment in the cold sense. It means releasing the belief that our happiness depends on something outside ourselves. It's about learning to enjoy without possessing, to love without needing to control, and to engage fully with life without demanding that it stay the same. This is not a denial of emotion, but rather a more mature relationship with it, being present without needing permanence. When we let go, we make space for freedom, the kind of emotional flexibility that allows us to live in the moment without fear of losing it. We begin to realize that peace isn't found in clinging, but in allowing. True contentment comes when we stop trying to force life to meet our expectations and instead meet life as it is. The psychology of acceptance, flowing with life instead of resisting it. From a young age, we're taught to strive, to plan, to chase goals, and when life resists us, we push back. Yet one of the most transformative psychological insights is the power of acceptance. Unlike resignation or passivity, acceptance in psychology means seeing reality clearly, without resistance or denial. It's not about giving up, it's about acknowledging what is and choosing a healthy, adaptive response. Much of our emotional pain doesn't come from the events themselves, but from how we interpret and resist them. When someone disappoints us, we feel anger because we expected them to act differently. When plans fall apart, we suffer because we can't accept the change. The more we fight reality, the more we suffer. Acceptance is clarity. It's the ability to recognize this is happening without immediately labeling it as good or bad. It's giving up the exhausting battle to make everything go our way and learning to flow with life as it unfolds. This doesn't mean we become passive. If a situation causes harm and we can change it, psychology supports taking empowered action. But if something is out of our control, the healthiest response is often to release our mental resistance, allowing us to conserve emotional energy and reduce inner turmoil. An old parable often cited in mindfulness-based therapy captures this mindset. A farmer's horse runs away. His neighbors say, "What bad luck?" He simply replies, "Maybe." Days later, the horse returns with more wild horses. The neighbors rejoice. "What good fortune!" Again, the farmer says, "Maybe." Later, his son breaks his leg while taming a horse. "How terrible," they say. "Maybe," the farmer repeats. When war breaks out and soldiers come to recruit young men, his son is spared because of the injury. The point is clear. We never know the full story while we're still in the middle of it. What feels like loss today may be the beginning of something better tomorrow. In psychological terms, this is the mindset of cognitive flexibility and emotional resilience. Acceptance allows us to stop being victims of our circumstances and instead become conscious participants in how we respond. Life will continue to change, whether we welcome it or not. The more we resist, the more we suffer. The more we accept, the more we grow. Hidden lessons: finding meaning in adversity. Life often delivers experiences that seem unfair, senseless, or overwhelmingly painful. Loss, failure, illness, heartbreak. In the moment, these events can feel like barriers to our happiness. But through the lens of psychology, adversity can be one of our greatest teachers. Even when we can't see it immediately, Every challenge contains the potential for growth and insight. When things don't go as planned, our initial response is often resistance, frustration, anger, sadness. But by pausing and reflecting, we may find that these moments are not random misfortunes, but crucial stepping stones in our development. A powerful metaphor often used in therapy is that of the butterfly. A man sees a butterfly struggling to emerge from its cocoon. Out of pity, he helps it out, only to discover the butterfly's wings are underdeveloped. The struggle, it turns out, was necessary for its strength. The same applies to us. Our struggles shape us into who we're meant to become. Pain forces us inward. It challenges our assumptions, highlights our blind spots, and reveals areas of ourselves that need healing. A failed relationship can teach emotional independence. A career setback may push us to reassess our values. Health issues can awaken a deeper appreciation for self-care. Nothing is wasted if we're willing to learn. Psychologically, our minds are often caught in two places where we have no power: the past and the future. We ruminate over what went wrong, or we anxiously anticipate what might go wrong. Rarely are we fully present in the only place life actually happens, the now. Mindfulness, a term widely used in modern psychology, is the practice of anchoring awareness in the present moment. It's not just about sitting in meditation, it's a way of living. When we eat, do we truly taste our food? When we listen, are we actually hearing or just waiting for our turn to speak? When we walk, are we aware of our steps or lost in thought? In a distracted world, mindfulness is revolutionary. It helps us reconnect with the richness of our daily experiences and reduces stress by pulling us out of the mental loops of worry and regret. It allows us to slow down, reclaim joy, and experience a deeper sense of calm, even amidst chaos. Integrating wisdom into daily life. Understanding these insights is just the beginning. True transformation happens when we put them into practice. Here are a few ways to start. Morning presence. Begin your day with intention. Before getting out of bed, take 3 conscious breaths. Feel the ground beneath you. Set a mental tone. Today, I will meet life with awareness. The pause practice. Create micro moments of mindfulness throughout your day. Before answering a call, take a breath. While standing in line, notice your feet. At meals, pause to appreciate your food before eating. Turning challenges into teachers. When faced with a difficulty, try this. Name it. This is stress. This is disappointment. Feel it. Where does it show up in your body? Don't judge it, just observe. Learn from it. What is this moment asking of me? What is it revealing? Evening reflection. End your day with gratitude. Recall 3 moments when you were fully present. Acknowledge one challenge you faced and what it taught you. Offer yourself and others a moment of kindness. Deepening the journey. Questions for reflection. Where in my life am I resisting change? What thought patterns keep me locked in suffering? How can I bring more compassionate awareness to my interactions? The ripple effect of inner work. Your personal growth doesn't just benefit you, it impacts everyone around you. When you show up calm, others feel it. When you're aware, you create space for deeper connection. When you lead with kindness, you inspire others to do the same. Transformation is contagious. By shifting your mind, you shift your world. Continuing the path. Practical tools. Start a 5-minute daily meditation to observe your thoughts. Keep a journal to track insights and emotional patterns. Join a mindfulness-based community or group for support. Rewiring the mind, from suffering to empowerment. Psychology teaches us that our suffering doesn't come only from events, but from how we interpret them. Through self-awareness and mental training, we can pause before reacting, observe our thoughts without being ruled by them, and make conscious choices instead of impulsive ones. This isn't about eliminating pain from life. It's about developing the tools to face it with clarity, compassion, and courage. Every difficult emotion is an opportunity to evolve. When we stop identifying with fear, doubt, and negativity, we uncover a peace that was always within us. Enlightenment isn't a destination. It's a way of living, with presence, with openness, and with deep inner freedom. If this message resonated with you, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for more insights on mindful living and psychological growth. We'd love to hear from you. Which of these reflections spoke to you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments and join the conversation on how we can live with more presence, purpose, and peace.